Blackdrop, hosted by Jam Laws, introduces Sierra Tribble.
2012, and I think I started getting into photography actually in high school. Yeah, my aunt let me borrow her film camera, so I actually did learn on film.
Wow.
Yes, I learned on film. She let me borrow her film camera, but after high school I stopped. Then I picked up again after college when I asked my mom for a camera.
Okay.
And I started taking it seriously then.
What kind of film camera did you start off with?
It was a Canon, so I've been shooting Canon this whole. I've been like really dedicated to the Canon brand. Yep.
Okay, that's amazing. So, what was the kind of camera that your mom got for you?
She got me a Canon T3i.
T3i.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, how much work did you get on that camera?
I mean, I got a lot of free work.
Okay. Now, what I'm asking is, was it still a hobby for you then, or were you kind of still excited to use the camera, like the camera has been your thing?
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely still excited to use it, but at the time, and I don't know if a lot of other photographers know this, but like when I started, I didn't feel comfortable photographing people yet. So I was like shooting nature and buildings and things.
The things they won't talk back to you. You don't have no expectations.
Yeah, like you can just stay there and I'll move around you. Like,
right.
So I started shooting like that kind of stuff. And then once that got boring, or I felt like I kind of mastered that, I was like, okay, well, let me try something different. So I would take pictures of my family, or like my mom and my friends, whoever I could get in front of the camera at that point without charging, just so I could get that experience. I would ask them, to build my confidence. And then I think I actually did start getting work on that camera. Yes, I did start getting, but that was maybe 2 years into the camera, and 2 years into having that camera, then I upgraded to the 5D Mark III.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, coming out of A&T, what did you do immediately after? You didn't start off in a photography full-time career, right? Okay,
no.
What did you do?
I moved to Atlanta. I lived in Atlanta for a year, and I worked for Cox Communications. And Atlanta was cool, but I didn't really find it to be my cup of tea necessarily. But yeah, I didn't do photography at all while I was down there. I just kind of partied and bullshit.
Nice. Lived in that, what they call the Black Mecca?
Yes.
Okay.
And they ain't not lying. They not lying about it. I really, I think Atlanta is a great place, and I think for creatives and young people, I feel like Atlanta actually does give people a chance, where I do find it is hard to kind of get what you need here in some aspects. Atlanta is great for that. Yeah.
Give me a brief difference between Charlotte and Atlanta as far as the get what you need aspect that you just shared.
So, what I'll say is here, it's more of a who you know, what you know, outside of what you know. But in Atlanta, they seem to take a chance on you. They seem to be more open to that, especially because it's a Black Mecca, like you said. They're more willing to give you a chance. Oh, this is my brother and my sister. Let me see what they're offering. And it's just, to me, it seems like a community of yeah, let's give this person a shot. Whereas here it's oh, well, I don't really know her like that. So, and to me, that's something I really feel like I want Charlotte to work on. As somebody who's been here for upwards of 15 years, 15, 20 years. So, and I'm I'm noticing I just really want people to be able to thrive, because we have a lot of people who are leaving the city now because they don't feel creatively, they don't feel like they're getting what they deserve.
15 years in Charlotte, and that's been your experience. Okay, I don't want to dig too deep into that. I do want to know if you have an idea of what could possibly change that. Knowing it wouldn't change overnight, knowing that it takes a variety of things, what would be one thing if you could pinpoint to be able to change the dynamic and culture of that?
Ooh. Okay. I think, and this might even be out of our control, right?
Yes,
but obviously, I think it takes the people in these rooms when we had these conversations, and when we had these conversations with other creators about people being in the rooms and having the conversations with the white people, whoever, the boards, right? It takes the people like us who are getting in the room to make sure that we are being brought up in discussions, because we can do all the work all day long, but if the people in the boards don't even know us because that's not a part of their culture, they're not looking into that, how would they even know about us? So if someone like me, let's say if I get access to a boardroom and they're saying, oh, I'm looking for someone to do video intimate sessions, well, I can oh, my homie Josh, he does that, right? But if no one's bringing me up in the discussion, then of course I'm going to be busting my ass and not getting anywhere, not getting the credit I think I deserve. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's interesting to me that you prefaced it from the people on the board, the people over there. Sometimes, unfortunately, coming from our race, the white people.
Yes.
It's amazing that it's not about what title they hold. It's the fact that it's unspoken.
Yes.
Right? That's the point of us even having this conversation, because it's just time for people like ourselves who have had these experiences, who are valid in the community, regardless of who likes us or how much work we've done. We've been here enough and have experienced enough to be able to speak on it. That's why it's that much more important for us to be able to speak about it. Without, of course, because this is the game that we play.
Yeah.
It's not that we have a problem being outspoken. It's a problem that if we speak to the wrong person or we say the wrong thing to the wrong person who's just simply listening and hears it, we may be locked out of those rooms. We may be locked away from those tables. And so sometimes it's necessary for us to create this type of safe space, if you will, that the Black Backdrop has seemed to be able to captivate and be able to express literally just our experiences.
Yes.
So speaking of our experiences, what has been some of your better experiences since even picking up the camera that keeps you going, it inspires and motivates you to continue to go?
You know, I find that like photographing people who are just kind of open, you know, and like so open to letting me be creative and let me do my thing, and then receiving it. Those have been some of the best experiences. And then like, you know, how I was saying, like, you know, when Alvin, like the first time I've ever been published. Alvin Jacobs.
Wow, that's crazy.
The first time I've ever been published was because of him. Wow. Because he put me on. He's like, you know what? He's like, I feel like you deserve to be published. Like, why haven't you been published yet? You know? And sometimes it just kind of takes the people in, you know, in your proximity. Always think about when Issa Rae says like network across. I mean, that is so real. Like, cause I mean, without me being able to network across, I can never go up, right? I need to interact with the people beside me. And so, like, just having, like, building those relationships with, like, you guys and whatnot, like, that means a lot to me. Like, this, I'm really honored to be sitting here because you didn't have to ask me to be here. Like, this is a passion project for you. And you don't even know what could come of us just being at this moment right now in this room. Like, we don't know what could come of this. It could be something great for both of us.
Very true.
So this moments like these that mean the most to me.
That means a lot. Thank you for reciprocating.
I'm serious.
For real.
I'm serious.
That's a lot of love there, and that's what this is about. Honestly, just again, getting the people that I've come to respect. It's not about whether I respect them. Coming to express and share the people that I happen to also like in spaces. It's not about whether I like them. Most importantly, what I find is that you all have motivated and inspired me in some capacity to go and do something like this because I've had to be able to at least match interest of conversation. For instance, your head wrap is so beautiful and profound, it pops right here on this camera, but I know that there's something significant behind that, right?
Yes.
So, in being a founder of Headwraps and Lipsticks, what exactly is it?
So, first of all, I want to start by saying Headwraps and Lipsticks is not a beauty podcast.
Let's go.
Okay, people.
Let's go.
A lot of men be like, "Oh, that's not for me." I'm like, "It actually is for you."
Oh, it is.
It is for you.
For sure.
Okay, we talk about politics and pop culture.
Yes.
For me, a head wrap represents something that is so beautiful. And I was telling, you know, Sherelle one day, I was like, you know, the way I feel like the way black women wear head wraps is like, oh, well, let me just throw this on right quick. You know, I'm going to the store, I'm going to Walmart. Yeah. But for me, I feel like it enhances our beauty.
Absolutely.
And so when I wear it, I want to be seen as regal and royalty, even if I am in jeans and sneakers, right?
Yes. Because
I'm royal always.
Absolutely.
I'm always elegant. I'm always beautiful. So for me, like a head wrap is like a crown.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
I love that. Real brief little interjection in there.
Yeah.
From my studies, head wraps, having your head covered, has always resembled a sense of power, unity, solidarity, even to the household, to the community. And so that's the way that I see it. It is a beauty standard, so to speak, uplifting, not just something that you cover your hair for protecting your hair, but again, that power and beauty symbol.
Yes, it means so much more. And I was like, and then when we like decided to make the name, because it really just kind of came up on the fly, the name, because I was always wearing head wraps and she really liked to wear lipstick, so it's like boom, there go name.
It's a perfect fit.
It's a perfect fit. But for me, it was like, you know what? It was like I felt the most beautiful and the most comfortable when I walked out the house with these head wraps on.
That's awesome.
You know, that's really what it was for me. Yeah.
Wow. How long ago did you guys get that started?
We've been doing a podcast for 5 years.
Wow.
It'll be 5 years on Cinco de Mayo.
Congratulations, yo. Congrats. We're going to pick that up right now. Yeah. We're going to call that a 5-year anniversary mark. I haven't been on there, but I'm trying to celebrate with y'all, man.
Come through.
It's the vibrancy, the people that have been featured on there, but also just the subject matter and the conversations that you all have. You know what I'm saying? That I've taken some tidbits from there and incorporated it here. You know what I mean? So I love to see it. What else do you do out here in the Charlotte community? And not just in Charlotte by any means. You're from Philadelphia and have been tapped in all on the East Coast. So what else do you find, not just doing the podcast and creating space for people to have these tough conversations, so to speak?
Yeah.
What else do you find yourself doing outside of that in photography?
Like honestly, like in this pandemic, I've really picked up like leisurely reading, which is something I have really stopped doing. Like after college, because I was fed up with just reading for whatever. But I have been finding that reading has been bringing me to like another community of women, because like when you read like just for like leisure or whatever, you get to have these conversations, especially with people you don't even know.
Absolutely.
On the internet. You get to talk about books, and you get to talk about how you feel. And I think it's been like really like kind of therapeutic, especially because a lot of us who like live alone, like myself included, like we get to build a community. We get to have these conversations, and we're not just having them with our friends, but we're having them with people like, who are across the world. So for me, what I've been doing is just really reading and trying to connect to other people. Like one of the things I want to do is connect with other people. I have a podcast.
Absolutely.
So I saw that, I read this book.
Absolutely.
I had this podcast.
It fits so well.